Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, morning edition. This entire video is AI generated daily. Now, this day in history,
1428, Peace of Ferrara between Republic of Venice, Duchy of Milan, Republic of Florence, and House of Gonzaga. Ending of the second campaign of the wars in Lombardy, fought until the Treaty of Lodi in 1454, which will then guarantee the conditions for the development of the Italian Renaissance. 1738, Real Academia de la Historia, Royal Academy of History, is founded in Madrid. 1902, the 7.5 Mo Guatemala earthquake shakes Guatemala with a maximum Mercalli intensity of 8. Severe, killing between 800 and 2,000. And now on to today's news.
Following weekend of reckless, disruptive gatherings downtown, some call for teen curfew to return. NBC Chicago. AAI summary of this story. After multiple days of large gatherings of young people resulting in chaotic scenes and multiple arrests, some business owners and activists in Chicago are calling for officials to reinstate the citywide curfew for minors that was implemented last summer. During the gatherings, multiple people were arrested and 2 teenagers were shot in the middle of large crowds. The Chicago Police Department responded to the large groups of juveniles and young adults engaging in reckless and disruptive behavior, putting themselves and the public at risk for harm. The Chicago Transit Authority altered bus routes and bypassed several downtown train stations due to police activity Saturday night.
Frank Ocean jolts Coachella with aimless WTF headlining set, Variety. AI summary of this story. Frank Ocean's highly anticipated Coachella set was a near disaster instead of being the moving and revelatory performance that many were anticipating. During the performance, Ocean and his musicians were obscured by people walking in a circle around them, only visible on custom screens. Despite flashes of brilliance, the set was messy and loose, leaving the audience disappointed.
Alphabet shares fall on report Samsung may dump Google search for Bing. Writers. AI summary of this story. Alphabet shares fell 4% following a report that Samsung Electronics is considering replacing Google with Microsoft Bing as the default search engine on its devices. Bing has reportedly gained prominence recently from the integration of artificial intelligence, causing panic for Google, which earns around $3 billion annually from the Samsung contract. Additionally, a similar contract with Apple, which generates $20 billion in revenue, is due for renewal later this year. According to Wall Street, Google could be falling behind Microsoft in the AI race.
A war crimes team investigated the Portland police. The results are damning. Rolling Stone. AI summary of this story. British research group Forensic Architecture has released a report on the use of chemicals by the Portland Police Bureau against demonstrators in the 2020 George Floyd protests. Findings include almost 150 tear gas munitions fired on Tear Gas Tuesday and concentrations causing health danger exceeding 2,200 times the federal safety threshold. Forensic Architecture, based at the University of London, combines open-source video evidence and computer modeling to investigate human rights abuses and war crimes. The group turned its focus on Portland after the city became renowned for its police violence directed at anti-police violence demonstrators and journalists.
JUICE spacecraft launched to investigate the habitability of Jupiter's icy moons. The Verge AI summary of this story. The European Space Agency, ESA, has launched its JUICE spacecraft to study Jupiter's icy moons Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto to investigate whether they could be potentially habitable. The spacecraft will perform a flyby of Earth and the Moon in August 2024 before it begins its 8-year journey to the Jupiter system. JUICE's launch window was limited to just 1 second due to its complex trajectory.
Phantom of the Opera closing. Andrew Lloyd Webber honors late son. USA Today. AI summary of this story. After 35 years and nearly 14,000 performances, The Phantom of the Opera on Broadway held its final show, receiving thunderous applause and a touching tribute from its producer, Cameron McIntosh, to the cast and crew. The audience included many stars such as Glenn Close, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Sarah Bareilles, and composer Andrew Lloyd Webber was on the scene to bid adieu to his longest-running show. The show's final bow was highlighted by the descent of the famous chandelier, with Webber dedicating the performance to his son's memory.
David's Bridal files for bankruptcy, PHL 17, Philadelphia. AI summary of this story. David's Bridal, one of the largest sellers of wedding gowns in the U.S., has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection just days after planning to cut at least 9,000 positions across the country. The Pennsylvania-based brand employs over 11,000 people. However, stores will remain open and brides will be able to purchase dresses without any disruptions. This is not the first time that David's Bridal has filed for bankruptcy, as they previously filed for bankruptcy in 2018, but were able to get out of debt and continue business.
McDonald's is upgrading its burgers. CNN, AI summary of this story. McDonald's is making changes to improve the taste of its signature burgers, including softer buns, gooier cheese, more Big Mac sauce, and adding onion to patties while they're grilled. These changes were first tested in international markets and will now be available in the U.S. for the Big Mac, McDouble, Classic Cheeseburger, Double Cheeseburger, and Hamburger. Small changes, such as using hotter, meltier cheese and adjusting the grill settings, have added to a big difference in making the burgers more flavorful, said McDonald's USA's Senior Director of Culinary Innovation, Chad Schaefer.
Kevin McCarthy to pitch fiscal plan with debt ceiling crisis looming. The Washington Post, AI summary of this story. Republicans will avoid defaulting on the U.S. national debt and plan to extract spending cuts and other policy concessions from President Biden as debt ceiling negotiations approach, according to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy made his comments on Monday in New York, but his remarks suggested there are risks and their political gambit could have consequences for the stock market and millions of U.S. citizens. And now a silly joke or two to lighten the mood after all the heavy stuff.
Sure, here's a joke for you. Why don't oysters give to charity? Because they're shellfish.
Hope you enjoyed today's artificial intelligence-generated news digest. For more, please subscribe, hit the bell button to activate notifications, and make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers.